Dillian, the body snatcher right here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
Right, okay, so in the description box you will find an article, but don't go there just yet. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel and listen to this video first. It's paramount importance. Now, Daniel Dubois says that he's coming for Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, and it won't be long before he's knocking on the door. He believes in himself. He thinks that he's making the right kind of progress. He feels that he left the amateurs at the right time. He didn't feel that if he didn't make the team for Tokyo 2020, he isn't going to be waiting around and just wasting time, which is why he turned pro so early. But he does say, though, that while he's in no rush. Now, that's the most important part for me, is the fact that he said that he's in no rush. He'll get there when he gets there, okay? He's not interested in breaking any kind of records. He'll get there when the opportunity arises. He will take that opportunity, and he believes that when he gets in the ring with Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, he's got the beating of them. And regardless of whether you're a Tyson Fury fanatic or an Anthony Joshua fanatic or whatever it may be, when you hear this from the young heavyweights prospects coming through, that's music to our ears, surely. It must be. Because whether or not you believe in Daniel Dubois or whether you don't, it's the mindset is what I'm talking about. And we all hope that Daniel Dubois, along with many other fighters out there, will go on and achieve in the sport. Because at the end of the day, you've got the likes of Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Dillian Whyte. These three are heading the heavyweight division as a whole, but most importantly for us, or at least for me at least, British heavyweight boxing. So these guys are there or thereabouts the age of 30 years old. So how much longer do these guys have in the sport before they start to plateau and dip a bit? So as they start to dip, we need to be having other British prospects coming through to take over from these guys. I'm not saying go in there and get the scalp of a Joshua or a scalp of a Fury or a scalp of a Dillian Whyte. I'm not saying that, although it would be, there's nothing wrong with that, of course. But the point is that we should always be churning out these top talents, okay? Because we did go through a period of British boxing was on its knees only a few years ago, okay? So we don't want to go back to that. And of course, with the British boxing amateur system that we have so much talent coming through, not just heavyweight, but all kinds of divisions. And there's so many young lads and young ladies taking up the sport. And this is what we want. We want to keep on churning these out. And this, as I said, there's so much talent coming through. There really is. Where these guys are going to, or potentially at least, look to take over the boxing world. Because right now, we have quite a few prospects if we just stick into the heavyweight division. And Daniel Dubois is potentially the top prospect for heavyweight. But of course, he is still very, very young. He is still wet behind the ears in some cases. There are certain things that we could look at and be critical about with his performances, but that's to be expected. When you look at his age and what it is that he's doing, he's actually ahead of the curve from that point of view. So him talking about how he's going to be fighting Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, etc., and he's going to come for them, and it won't be too long before he does, that is good news. Because when he first turned pro, my initial reaction was, I hope Frank Warren doesn't push him too fast because he's so desperate to overtake Eddie Hearn and have the new Anthony Joshua. Because a lot of people remember Daniel Dubois was dubbed as the new Anthony Joshua when he should have been dubbed the Daniel Dubois, shouldn't he? Not the next Anthony Joshua or next anybody. But I was worried that he was going to be pushed into the deep end too soon and end up getting exposed and everything just falls off the track. But that's not what Frank Warren's done. Frank Warren has guided him correctly. And I know that we are impatient. We want to see how good he is. We want to see him push to his limits. But ultimately, how far do you push him? A lot of people are already saying that he could get in there with Joshua, Dillian Whyte, Tyson Fury, and Luis Ortiz, and Deontay Wilder, etc., and could beat them. Maybe you're right. I don't know. I really don't know. But ultimately, I think it's too much of a risk. Now, with a Frank Warren fighter, as Daniel Dubois is, he'll always going to get a decent position with the WBO. So it won't be long before he gets the opportunity to be fighting for a WBO world title, as all of his fighters do, same as Bob Arum ones do as well. There is an extreme amount of favoritism towards Frank Warren and Bob Arum fighters. We know this, much like there is with Al Heyman in the WBC. You could probably argue a little bit at times with Eddie Hearn and the WBA and that as well. So there is favouritisms here, there and everywhere. So it just won't be long where Dubois will become mandatory for the WBO. And for me, I think that'll happen in the next 12 months. Really, I do. And you don't even have to beat any of the top guys to do it. You just need to be a Frank Warren fighter. Okay, so I do expect him to get the opportunity. Will he take the opportunity? Is it wise to take the opportunity? But listen, at the end of the day, British champion on this Friday, he could become the Commonwealth champion as well. Then hopefully he looks to become the European champion. And if he does, then start to look at the world levels a couple of fights after that. In my opinion, I don't really want to see him fighting for a world title this side of 20 fights in. Once he gets to 20 fights and beyond, then sure. Listen, that's just me. They will rush him if they feel the need to rush him, or if they feel the need to hold him back, then hold him back. They'll just do whatever they're going to do, as Dubois said. And he does seem very, very mature for his age and sensible, where he says, I'll get there when I get there. I'm in no rush, but if the opportunity comes, I'm going to take it. Anyway, article in the description box. Go get a read for yourself. It's got Dubois' statement in there, all that kind of good stuff. Drop your comments below. Click the thumbs up to this video, and of course, subscribe. Catch you all on the next one.